So Master Santiago is heading towards the end. We now have our top 4 teams ready to fight it out over the coming weekend to decide who is gonna lift the first Masters Trophy of 2026. There's been a lot of games that happened. I did manage to make a video covering the games happen in the upper quarterfinals. So we're gonna have to cover everything today. So let's jump right in. I'm not gonna dive too deep. Just gonna give you a quick, brief summary of the games, starting with the upper quarterfinals. Now, first game played, Nongshim versus Genomates. Nongshim pretty easily won this, 13-10 on both maps. You can see that Ivy kind of went crazy this game. Plus 17, Dambi still up to Dambi stuff. The rest of the team played pretty well. Outside Genomates, Martin still putting out numbers. Mini had a particularly rough one. Yeah, just not looking great coming into playoffs. Genomates, and we'll see the next game they play a little bit later on. But the Genomates looking not like the same team we saw during their group stage and their run here from EMEA. Would like to see more from them. And for Nongshim, they look very good, and we'll talk more about them later in their game against G2. Speaking of G2, let's have a look at this game where they played all gamers. It wasn't really a close affair, 13-6, 13-4. This looked really concerning for China as a whole region, because AG was on track to win less rounds than MIBR, breaking the record. But we'll see more from them a little bit later on. But on the side of G2, glad to see them bounce back. There has been quite a few doubts about them, especially since they came into playoffs looking quite shaky. But they are here to play, and they are in the top 4. But yeah, we would like to see more from G2. Excited to see their rematch against Paper X that's coming very soon, actually. But let's move swiftly on to the next game, which is Furia Paper X. And I believe I said the Nongshim Genomates was the first game played, but this was actually the first game that was played. That was just the first game in the bracket, but doesn't matter. EU had a very good game. As you can see, the rest of the team not so much. We quickly have a look. Haven, Furia did win that map. They beat Paper X, and people all thought, wow, Furia kinda here to play. And they got destroyed on Breeze, and they didn't win a single defensive round on Split. Not looking great for Furia coming out of this game, but people still had faith. They managed to take a map off Paper X. Paper X looking like one of the tournament favorites. Yeah, people still had faith. Paper X still looking pretty good, and Furia, wasn't disastrous. I think a lot of people had pretty high optimism for them for their next game, but we'll talk more about that in a moment, because their opponent played NRG in the first round, and they managed to win a map, BBL, but NRG won BBL's map pick of Po 13-6, and then BBL won NRG's map pick of Abyss 13-6, and then there's a very close overtime 17-15 games to NRG favor on the decider map of Split. This game was a weird one because the map draft seemed pretty fucked. You can watch TMV's video about it for more details if you want to. But yeah, Lovers Rock had a pretty good game. Rose, pretty bad game. But these are the numbers we are used to seeing from BBL. Lovers Rock, maybe LaRock carrying. LaRock had a pretty quiet one, all things considered. But we'll see more of BBL, and on the side of NRG, looking good. They'll carry this momentum forward in their next game, which they played against Paper X. Let's go into that game first. Beat Paper X handedly 2-0, although it was very close. They won on overtime on Po, and they won 13-11 on Bind. Quick notes about this game is that I think Paper X's bind comp didn't look great. Would like to see them change it. Saw in the clip that Alex said that their other comp wasn't good, so they put this out as like a kind of a surprise comp. But I think they need to rework their bind, or look at other alternatives, or start banning that map, because I don't think this comp would work at the current stage of the tournament. And Maybe they can prove me wrong, but I'm just not too. I don't like this comp too much, and I'm not too confident in it having a big success. So NRG advanced to the upper final, where they'll play Nongshim Esports, who defeated G2 in 2-1 fashion, losing to them on Abyss, and beating them on Corrode and overtime on Split. So G2 gave it a pretty good go. Like I said earlier, G2 look like they're back and they're here to play. This is the G2 we want to see, living up to the potential that they have. And this is the Nongshim I predicted that would show up to this tournament, looking really good. They are the only first seed still remaining in this tournament, and for a very good reason. This meta is kinda theirs to dominate. Dambi looking like Gojo out there. I saw a tweet that Shayo made. Very, very good for Nongshim. I really like what I'm seeing from them, and I think it'll be an interesting match against NRG, who kind of plays anti-meta in a sense, but we'll see more of that when the match happens. Let's now move on to the lower bracket because there are more games to be discussed there. So let's start off with All Gamers versus Genomates. Now this is a very big upset for All Gamers because the first map happened 13-5, and I was like, hold on. AG are on track to break MIBR's record for the least amount of rounds win in a tournament, but they went ahead and beat Genomates 13-4 instead, which is pretty crazy. And on the bind, Genomates, they lost 11 rounds in a row to bomb out of this tournament playoff. Well, bomb out maybe not the right word because they kind of dominated on group stages, but pretty rough game from the team. Of course, Martin still doing Martin things, putting up very good numbers. But AG at this point of the tournament, when this game happened, looking like a force. You know, they look like they could deal more damage in the tournament. And Genomates, just quickly on Genomates, I think that they are a team with a lot of potential still. A lot of the players are still new. Even if they have been around for a few years, a year or two, they are still quite new to internationals. They still have a lot more to learn under the guidance of Starkzo, who has also been out of like international competitions for a while. But this team, I really like them still. I hope to see them come back in Masters London. Moving on to the next game, which is Furia versus BBL. Furia lost to BBL. This time BBL winning out the Haven, which is the map Furia beat Paper X at, but Furia this time winning out on the Breeze, which was the map they got destroyed by Paper X on, and they played the Abyss, which Furia lost a very close 13-11. You might have seen a clip of EU falling off the map on the last round of this game. I don't think it would have mattered to the results. It was a 2v4, very hard to win, but it's just unfortunate and it feels bad going out like that. But at this point, I think Furia, a lot of people didn't have high expectations for them, even though they were coming in as first seed. But they look pretty good. They look like they could put up a fight. BBL are a crazy and very unorthodox team to play against, so no, it's hard to play against them the first time. Even very good teams would struggle, I believe, and we can see a bit of that. We have seen a bit of that from the other teams, but very unfortunate for Furia. I was hoping that my pickups would be wrong, but I got their bracket right, unfortunately, for all my Furia believers. But let's just commend them on making this international and, making this easily Furia's best year in the whole of partnership. Now let's continue on the BBL train and talk about the next game they played against G2. BBL only playing in a VCT Americas, I see. Yeah, this was a swift 2-0 for G2, 13-5, 13-8, not even really close. Yeah, G2 looking very scary, very good. Kind of dominated BBL, which not a lot of teams can say they did. But Larok and Lovers Rock, they tried their best, but no, they didn't really show up. Lovers Rock was having a particularly hard time, I think. But G2 just looking better and better, and BBL, they are such a young team, all rookies, with so much potential that we'll see them again. We'll definitely see them in another international this year. So BBL fans rejoice. There's a lot more in store for them. And EMEA fans, unfortunately for you, you're gonna go over 1,000 days without having lifted a trophy for the region. And the last game we're going to talk about is Paper Rex versus AG. Now, this was a very close affair. Corrode, all gamers winning. 13-10. Envy and Jing dropped a very big game. Devi dropped the opposite of that. Pretty rough game for Devi, but he did come back in on Pearl, dropping 18-12 plus 6. But main talk of the town was something kind of popping off. Fenji on the other side is still a beast, still a monster, very very good player, and on the split they didn't stand a chance. AG, Paper X just kinda looked very dominant all the way. Something awoken. I saw a clip of Shrimp kinda trash talking him, and something said that kinda motivated him to kinda pop off, and this is the something we're used to seeing. This is the something that we all know and love. And so AG out of the tournament, I would say very big respect for AG, looking like they were gonna break the record of the least amount of rounds win, turning it around, beating General Mates, and getting a map off Paper X is no small task. So big round of applause to them. And they did last longer than EMEA in the bracket. Well, only on a technicality because their game was later than the BBL game, but hey. Big congrats to AG for winning a game. And yeah, that's all of the games that has been played up until now. The games we have to look forward to are Nongshim NRG and Paper X G2. Again, Paper X G2. These are all very good games, very exciting to watch. Again, Nongshim currently I think is the meta leaders with Dambi and Francis, and NRG kind of being the anti-meta team. Should be a very interesting matchup to watch, and Paper X versus G2 will always be a good game because it's Paper X and G2. Now, that's it for the games that we have played and the games that are to come. Let's have a look at our pickups, because I think we did pretty okay. I was high on EMEA, that backfired. I predicted Paper X to win the rematch against NRG again, but that didn't go. So this will be wrong, and this will be wrong because both of these teams are eliminated. I think the main one that kinda shocked me was, of course, this General Mates All Gamers game, but no, I got the first round all correct. I got this correct. I got this correct, but it went wrong here. It all went wrong here. So I mean, this could still happen, this could still happen, and this could still happen. So there's some chance to recover there, but it's not looking great for my pick'ems. And similarly for VFL, it's not looking too great. It doesn't show the score right now, but if we quickly have a look at the leaderboard, let's find me. Yeah, we are in the 6,000s area for week 2, so it's not looking great. Wait, this is week 1. Where are we for week 2? That is not where I want to be. In the 8,000s area. That is not where I want to be. And if we look at event total, yeah, bottom 7,000s, 200 points. We quickly compare ourselves to the talent. I am not living up to my name of beating TMV and Sideshow currently. So, I would say that I pretty much don't have a chance to beat them, but let's try to make the best transfers we can to achieve that goal. Now, obviously we are allowed 3 transfers a week, and I think it's pretty obvious what 3 transfers we have to do. We have to take out the mates players, and we have to take out Artson. I think the easiest way to start is with Mini, because he's the most expensive player here. These players all need to have extra funds to replace them. So let's have a look. I think with 9.5, I think let's have a look at what players we want first, because if not, I'm not gonna be able to budget this correctly. I'm gonna mess up something. So let's see. I think, well, we could go Scuba, Devi, or Ivy here. I think those are the more sensible options. Could also go Baby Bay, but I don't think I would go. I don't think I'll be going Baby Bay right now. He's a bit too pricey. Maybe I can budget in Scuba or Devi, but I think my most likely pick here is Ivy. Ivy has been doing pretty well as well, so not too bad of a pick. Let's have a look at who we can replace Artsin with. Well, cheapest player we can go is RB at 8, so that's 1.5 more. 0.5 the bank right now, but I want to try and get Kiko. I want to get Kiko. I think that's the play to spend. Okay, so we need an additional 2.5 VP to get Kiko. So let's see. I think we definitely have to go Ivy there. And what can we do here? We could get Ethan. Ethan or Extra. I mean, definitely. I think we should go get for Ethan. Yeah, I think we should go for Ethan here. So let's make the transfers. Let's first get Ivy in. Transfer player. We're gonna have to change our IGL as well. I don't want to stick the IGL on Ivy. We're gonna get Kiko here. Gotta get Kiko in. So that's 2. Hold on. That's 2. That will be 2.5. And 0.5 here to upgrade to Ethan. I wanted to go X-Ross, but I already have 2 Nongshim players, so I'll go for Ethan. Yeah. So let's go Kiko. And that leaves us 0.5 to get Ethan Arnold in. The GOAT, one might say. And I will get my IGL on Kiko. I think that's the safest option. For now, definitely seems to be the safest option. Do I have to change my team name? I might have to change my team name. I messed it up. Sad face. Okay. We have saved our VCT Fantasy League changes. This is my team that I'm gonna end on. So I'll catch you, I think, at the end of the tournament. And we'll see how I did in this last week of VFL and whether my prediction of Nongshim winning the tournament ages well. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.